This is Mike with NovaEquip, and this video will be a walkthrough on a recent parts department that we designed for an automotive dealership, a high-end automotive dealership in the Maryland, DC area. To start off with, just kind of a little bit of insight into what you're going to see here. This particular parts department had some challenges based off of the architectural layouts that we were provided. The downstairs area where the parts were primarily distributed throughout the shop, that particular area was very limited in size, and you'll see that here. Basically, this is the fastest moving parts for the dealership, and they really didn't have a lot of space to accommodate what their needs were. So a lot of their extra storage was upstairs. So sometimes we're presented with challenges from Jump Street, even on a new building design. Sometimes what we find is parts department is one of the areas in which a dealership design, when it occurs, is one of the most common areas to lose footprint very quickly. And my suspicion is that occurred here. But all that said, we try our best to make things work, no matter the scenario that we are presented. So in this particular instance, we'll give you a kind of a brief walkthrough and let you see exactly what we were dealing with. So as we start the video here, you're going to see that this is the downstairs parts department. And as the video pans here, you'll see that there's a tire rack pretty much immediately to the right. This is sort of unusual in the perspective that they were really trying to get a great variety of parts in this downstairs area, as much of the fast moving parts as possible in this downstairs area. So this was for their high volume vehicle tires and rims, things like that might change over pretty quickly. So it's a little unusual to have tires that close to the counter system, but this is what they called for. As it pans, you'll see a little bit of drawers and shelving for some smaller parts and common fast-moving parts. As we come up to the left here, you're going to see something kind of different. This particular manufacturer or dealership rather, they deal with their rotors being out of boxes. So what you're seeing here is an overlay of rubber on top of the shelves here to the left. That overlay allows them to store these rotors that are pretty substantial on these shelf units without marring the paint, as well as let's say messing up the finish of the rotor. As we progress here, you're going to see we sort of swing off to the shipping and receiving area here. We provided this security cage because this is where they're going to have their night drops occur. So I'm sure a lot of parts department folks know after hours drops are pretty much a way of business for stock orders. So this particular dealership wanted to have an area in which that could occur in a secured fashion, separate from the parts department. So we put this sliding gate, this locking gate, so that way it could occur, and whoever does the drops in the evening would not necessarily have access to the primary parts department. As we scan left here, you're seeing the staircase as well as the counter system. This was all part of the building structure, but we can provide counter systems that are integrated to match up with our parts shelving and drawers. The staircase here also was a part of the building structure. So we're going to go up the steps here, and as we go up the steps, you'll start to see that they have some greater deal of storage upstairs. Downstairs is very small in relative terms compared to most parts departments. So when we first get up the steps here, you're going to see a lot of bulk storage off to the right. You've got some hanging rail. You'll see there's some hooks on these rails as we pass by. And then lastly, we've got a trim and let's call it a flat stock or like wiper blade rack. That is off to the left here with the partitions on it. We're gonna go and you'll see some drawers off to the left because they didn't have so much room downstairs. They had to figure out a way to get some density in the closest area to that staircase as possible. So off to the left and right, you're gonna see some some drawers and shelves to kind of increase their overall ability for density. In the middle here, you've got some larger bulk areas that are accessible from both sides. So that way, if they have larger boxes, they'll fit. But also if they have smaller boxes, they can kind of utilize both sides of the storage unit. As we continue to walk through here, you'll see I'm kind of backing up. Again, this bulk area here is actually back-to-back deep bulk bins or bulk racks. And the purpose of this is for them to be able to slide long items that would characteristically overhang a rack of this nature, slide those items through to get complete support so they're not out over top someone's head or out taking up valuable aisle space. So this particular unit here is about 8 to 9 feet deep. It's really 2 units back to back, but this allows for that type of product to be stored safely. Now you're going to start to see more tire storage. This tire storage kind of hugs the staircase for quicker and easier access by proximity to that downstairs area. You've also got some additional bulk storage areas, lots and lots of hanging rack. They had a lot of hanging rack for this particular product line. And then I will bring you back to this particular area here where you're seeing partitions. These steel partitions are used for hoods and doors. They did store a little bit of body product here to supplement their collision center. As we kind of pan around here again, you'll see that we're going to go off to an additional area upstairs. This area is additional bulk storage. A lot of their parts were very large. That's kind of why they focused on having so much of this bulkier storage area. So that's what we had there. And then lastly, what I'm going to show you here is a portable delivery cart that has some rubber lining on it. This is just for them to accept their deliveries, move them around upstairs without anything being marred up or even falling off. That rubber helps keep things stable on that cart. As we go back downstairs, you'll see that you get a little bit more of a top-down view of kind of what we had there. Again, exhibiting those rubber layered shelf levels. Oh, and by the way, here in the shipping and receiving area, we did have a staging area for maybe things that are going out the door, like warranty returns or just return items that might be going back to other suppliers. We're coming back through again, just kind of showing you the action of the sliding door, the locking door, and then we're going to come back out, and that gave you a basic overview of what they were trying to achieve. One of the main things they were trying to do downstairs, as you can see, is get a variety of storage locations. That's why you're seeing shelves as well as drawers, to get some of the smaller parts in there as well as the faster moving parts that might not be so small. So we tried to really give them as much variety as possible downstairs. This is what they ultimately approved. It seems to be working out pretty well for them. Yeah, so that's the run through of this particular dealership's layout. Every dealership is different. Every design concept is different. There is no standardized approach to an automotive dealership or a parts department for any sort of service or repair facility. If you have any needs and maybe some unique challenges for your operation, please feel free to give us a call. We'll be happy to help you out, and we look forward to hearing from you. Thanks again.